Hello, this is Justin VanFulpen with NFL Draft Digest. Today we're talking about the 2010 NFL Combine risers on the defensive side. And guys who, as far as took their NFL Combine experience and really helped their draft status. We're going to start at the defensive line. As far as the first guy I want to talk about is Dexter Davis. Now he's more of a conversion guy, probably play outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense, but a guy who ran 4.56, did 225 25 times, really showed as far as the ability to kind of rush the passer, stand up, as far as also did some linebacking drills and showed good in those drills as well. Another conversion guy that we saw down at the Texas vs. Nation game was Junior Gillette from Spillman College. He ran 4.77 in the 40-yard dash and also did 25 reps at 225 and weighed in at 257 pounds. Now he's a little short, about almost 6'1", but a guy who could rush the passer in that 3-4 defense, also can put his hand on the ground. We saw him play a 4-3 at the Texas vs. Nation and did well. Now he's a guy who transferred from Temple. There's some off-the-field issues because of that, so the NFL has done some more background checks, but they're okay with that. This is a guy who's probably going to be a 6th, 7th round type draft pick. And then another guy who blew it out the water there, an Ohio State guy, Thaddeus Gibson, as far as the defensive end, who again, another conversion guy. We're seeing a ton of these conversion guys in this year's NFL draft. Did 32 reps at 225, ran 4.71 at 243 pounds. A guy who just really could show that he could play that outside linebacker in that 4-3 defense. So he's the kind of guy who's been as a 2nd, 3rd round guy prospect there. And then we go as far as a 3-4 defense. We're looking at a defensive end. That's Linval Joseph from East Carolina. 328 pounds, about at 6'4", did 39 reps of 225. Really a guy who's going to be that defensive end in that 3-4 defense. Showed the ability to really kind of be a stout run defender. A guy who I really like a lot, who's kind of pushing himself up there, because we see a lot of outside linebackers that can play in that 3-4 defense, but a lot of defensive ends who can really be stout against the run there. C.J. Wilson, another guy from East Carolina, 6'2", 290 pounds, ran 4.75 in the 40, did 33 reps of 225. A guy who probably is a 4-3 defensive end, and as far as to be able to rush the passer. To kind of get back to the linebackers, a guy who I really like is Jamar Chaney from Mississippi State. This guy is 242 pounds and ran 4.54 in the 40, had a 39-inch vertical jump, and did 26 reps at 225. He's a guy who's a middle linebacker and a guy his stock is going up based on his combine performance. Another guy's stock at the linebacker position that's going up is Keenan Clayton from Oklahoma University. At 229 pounds, ran 4.59. But his impressive thing was a 41.5-inch vertical jump. I mean, that's defensive backs type jumps there. Did 27 reps at 225 and showed the ability to drop into coverage. Also, as far as do a lot of good back drills when he was attacking the running back there. So it showed his ability to kind of be an outside linebacker, or weak side linebacker in that 4-3 defense. Simon Lawrence from Minnesota, a guy who we had at the Texas vs. Nation game, 4'6", 232 pounds, but had a 40-inch vertical jump and did 21 reps. He's a guy, again, a weak side linebacker on a 4-3 defense. Some even think maybe he could play safety at the next level. And another guy who's kind of pushing up the draft boards. Talking about another linebacker who's a small guy, but as far as effective, Darrell Washington from TCU. This guy is just natural, fluid. He's a guy who's a weak side linebacker in the 4-3 defense. Yeah, he did play inside at TCU this past year, but he's a guy who's going to kick out, be a weak side guy, and be a run and chase type linebacker there, and really is helping him stock. Sean Witherspoon from Missouri. This guy did 34 reps at 225, ran a 4.68, and had a 40-inch vertical jump. Really tested great. And then also in the drills showed the ability. This is a guy who played outside at the Senior Bowl, played inside. He's a guy who's a legit mid-first round pick now, probably in that 15 to 20 type range is where Witherspoon's going to get drafted. And another linebacker who's rising up the draft board that we saw at the Senior Bowl is Dakota Watson from Florida State. 4.56, 40-inch vertical jump, 24 reps at 225. Guy, probably the 2nd, 3rd round pick, but a guy who is moving up the draft board. Then we get to the defensive back. Chris Cook, a guy who we've talked about in the past, a Senior Bowl, had a great Senior Bowl, followed up with a great combine, ran 4.46 and did an 11-foot broad jump. Best out of anybody at the NFL Combine in any positions, and just that explosiveness. Now the question is he a safety? Is he a corner? And so that's the biggest thing with him. Where are you going to put him? Another guy who we've been tracking throughout this whole process is Brandon G from Wake Forest, a good corner, a 4.45, 10.7 in the broad, did a 20-yard shuttle in less than 4.07 was his 20-yard shuttle. And a guy who, is just that big corner, physical guy. And a lot of people said, hey, beginning of the season was a first-round guy, then dropped to the third-round guy. I think he's settled in where he's probably going to draft, and that's in the second round, mid to late second round. But a guy who's a good corner, and as far as will be able to start as a rookie for whatever team he's drafted to. And then probably the star of the combine on their defensive backside was A.J. Jefferson. As far as a cornerback from Fresno State, was down at the Texas First of the Nation game, ran 4.43, had a 44-inch vertical jump, a 10.6 broad jump, and a 4-flat 20-yard shuttle, and really showed his ability as far as his back pedal was smooth in the drills. And this guy's really rising up as far as people's draft boards. Now, before we saw him at the Texas First of the Nation game, people were saying, hey, this guy's maybe a 6th-round pick. Now this guy's moving up, probably a 4th-round pick. So this guy's really heading up some steam. We'll see what he does at his pro day and private workouts as we lead into the April draft. But this guy's another good guy that's coming up there. Then you have Taylor Mays from USC. Everybody wanted to see what he could do, and just a physical freak. And then if you watch the forwards, if you're at the combine and you saw what he did, you were amazed at what the ability that this guy had. And some people had him at a 4.27 type 40 when the official numbers came out. It was like a 4.43, but still, as far as just a ridiculous athlete, and also had a 41-inch vertical jump and a 10.5 broad jump. So as far as a guy who really can make plays at the next level, that's going to be the question mark. But I think as far as physically, he's a great athlete. Great athlete. The question is, can he translate that to the next level as far as on the ball? Because he didn't make enough plays, and that's what the NFL scouts wanted to see. But with his workout, and coaches will say, I can coach this guy up. So this guy, to me, is going to be a first-round pick. Has first-round ability, doesn't have first-round film, in my opinion, but could come and be a playmaker, and is probably a guy who's a late first round, but I think he's going to ultimately get drafted in the first round. That's Justin VanFulpen. You've been watching NFL Draft Digest. Keep it locked here, and we're getting more coverage as we get closer and closer to the NFL Draft.